So I'm particularly excited about today because it's our very first Knowledge Mobilization Expo. It's the beginning of a longer conversation with you and the province about how we can work together to support positive outcomes for our young people.
York University is a leader in the field of knowledge mobilization and in the field of trying to understand impacts that arise from research. We're one of 11 universities across Canada that's involved in a pan-Canadian network that we call Research Impact, and we're seeking to turn research into action. And that's what you're doing here today. So this is a really great chance for us to be able to embed the work that we're doing in the lived experience of the youth of Ontario.
I hope that throughout this day, each of you will enjoy invigorating conversations and the opportunity to meet and learn from at least a minimum one new person.
When I think about evaluation, the word that comes in my mind first is change. The goal of your programs and evaluating your programs is that you want it to change eventually for the better, right? For progress. You want to think about changing evaluation in and of itself.
The big question at the heart of evaluation is this idea of there's funds that are not being used. How do we really know you're having the maximum impact? How do we really know you're doing the work? And I don't think that's in line with the spirit of what we want evaluation to be about either.
And right now I see that it's kind of like on that turning point. It's make or break it time, right? The whole sector is changing. I don't know if you guys can feel it. So what's going to happen? Are we going to break through or are we going to break down? And in order for that to happen, evaluations and that process need to change itself.
My background is international, specifically international development issues, and I can tell you from that perspective that research and evaluation have really driven a sea change in the work itself. And it's made possible global sharing about what works and, importantly, why and under what conditions.
So when we're looking at evaluation practices, the first quote speaks to the question just not of whether you're collecting data, but what data you're collecting and whether that really answers the questions that you have around how to improve your program.
People did feel, the respondents did feel that it was very important to be able to speak with funders and that funders were interested in having conversations about failure, about success, about some of the different issues there, which I think is important. And that about a quarter or more than about 40% for both grassroots and for non-grassroots felt that there's a lot of pressure from, on doing evaluation, a lot of pressure on showing results that are meaningful and impactful.
How do you know what works in improving outcomes for young people? How do you know where to put your money and to put your resources? So the goal for Project Oracle was to design a sustainable system that would help funders and commissioners in London, providers of the services, and also academics and experts who can help people to measure the impact of their work. And I think what are we trying to achieve with this work? We're trying to do two things. We're trying to get the London system to appreciate how to generate, use, and share evidence. And then we're also trying to build a depository of validated projects so that can inform people who are commissioning programs or people who are developing programs to think about what they do next. Really, really, proud and honored to be here. So I think what you guys are doing here is critical work. It's tough work, but it's really important. It's like we can't say, we're doing good work. We feel like we're doing good work. You need to take some responsibility to measure it. And then the question is about how do you measure it? In what way, and how are we approaching that? And I think that's what YouthRex will help you guys to explore.
So for us, the way we think about YouthRex is it's really an old-fashioned steam-powered enterprise. It will be as successful as the blood, sweat, and tears that folks, grassroots groups on the front lines provide to it. The real work going forward and the real work in partnership with York and the other 4 hubs will be making sure that this is an initiative that actually has an impact at the level of those organizations. So our vision for this really is something that's grounded, something that's practical, and something that makes evaluation part of the everyday work that we do because we owe it to those young people. Thank you very much, and a huge thanks to the organizers for having us today. Great.